My name's Bethany Chambers, and I'm going to be sharing with you today my workshop, Survivor, Not Victim, and how I've managed to thrive through toys. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the Quandamooka people, traditional owners of the lands, winds, and waters we call Redlands. I acknowledge the Quandamooka people, traditional custodians of the lands, waters, and seas where I stand today. I pay my respects to elders, past, present, and future. So, who ever in their lifetime has bought a toy? Did you know that 80% of those toys end up in waste? 80% of them. And over 51% of those within the first 12 months. In a global toy sale in 2023, the sales reached US $108.7 billion. And did you know 90% of them are made from plastic with a multitude of other components, which is one of the difficulties in recycling of children's toys. So think about it. What sort of materials go into toys? There's plastic, there's wood, there's metal, there's wiring, there's cloth, rubber, batteries, and a multitude of other components. So it does make it difficult for them to be recycled. So let's instead look at reusing them and repurposing them and keeping them in, giving circulation, giving joy where they should be. Now, many people, when the end of their life of the toy, don't know what to do with them. The children have grown out of them and they're just left there, not being played with. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that later as to how we can help you with that troublesome toy problem. Now, why toys? Toys are special. Work with me here. Think back to a time and place where you were happily playing. Was it at a friend's house, school, or your big brother's toy? It doesn't matter what it looks like or what function it makes. Embrace that feeling. There's something about toys. They have the ability to transport us to another time and place, to tell a story, an emotional connection. It's not just fun and games. Now, you may not look it, but at 5'2" and petite build, I was indeed a kick-ass police officer, and I loved my job. I enjoyed helping people, being on the ground, making our communities safe. And things changed. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I'm part cat. After all, they've got 9 lives. I've got 4 left to get me through to 90. For anyone else, that'd be pretty good odds. For me, though, not so much. I've so far experienced over 30 operations. I exist in constant, unrelenting pain. My 3 lower ribs sit on top of my hips, grating, making everyday life just that little bit harder. If there were a mere mention of a complication, then unfortunately it would more likely occur. So, ever since that hernia operation that went really horribly wrong, my mental health also took a beating. After being diagnosed with PTSD, depression, and anxiety, having both physical and mental disabilities have fused together to give me the complex regional pain syndrome diagnosis that I have today. Every day is a struggle, but I choose to be a survivor every day. Why toys? Well, first up, I'm a mum, and I know just how expensive quality toys can be. The affordability crisis is being used to keep people in poverty. It's exacerbated by mass manufacturing of inferior quality and poorly designed toys aimed at those doing it the hardest. The poor quality and design ensures the items break in a short time frame, so it gets replaced again and again and again. Each time that item is thrown away and replaced with a new budget item. Global toy sales reached $108.7 billion in 2023. That's huge industry. And if you choose correctly, a high quality toy is designed not only to be robust, but with multi-developmental components ensuring longevity of use. And the sustainability issue is that plastic takes so long to break down. And when it's in our oceans, as 80% of toys are discarded, they end up incinerated, landfill, and poisoning our oceans. Presently, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is one of only 5 floating soups in our world, which are made up of 94% microplastics, tiny plastics. Think of a grain of rice. There's estimated to be 1.8 trillion pieces of this plastic floating just in that area. And as the slide shows, with Texas in Queensland border, the Great Garbage Patch, Pacific Garbage Patch, is twice the size of Texas. So that soup would cover Queensland, and that is where all 218 species of eating fish have been found to have microplastics within them. This has got to stop. There's got to be a better way. And so there is. How was Merry-Go-Round Toys born? Well, in 2023, I'd been thinking about a little bit of an idea of how I could use toys as a conduit to be able to serve the community again and give me back my sense of purpose. Ever since I was provided a safe place when I was a teenager after experiencing homelessness. I was aided to gain my dignity, confidence, and ultimately my independence. From there, I became indebted. Volunteer work through different organisations brought me my beautiful husband, Scott, and also has brought around merry-go-round toys being born to give people an opportunity and a real purpose for toys that are no longer being played with or being used. The average home has more toys than ever before. According to the toy industry data cited, families spend $24 billion on toys annually. 3.1 billion of that for infant and preschool toys. 90% of toys are made from plastic. We're using a resource made from a scarce, non-renewable resource, oil, to make a material that will last for thousands of years in order to make throwaway toys that are designed to not last. Kids lose interest in 25% of their toys after just 1 week. Should we be making these toys? Should we be using plastic to make these toys? And what do we do with the ones that are already here? Toys and plastic toys are going to be here for our grandchildren's grandchildren. So it's up to us to ensure that we reduce, reuse, and repurpose as much as we can. Now, merry-go-round toys is a little bit different. We're a social enterprise, a very proud social enterprise too. And a term that I quite like is that of profit for purpose. It succinctly means that as a social enterprise, we sell a product or offer a service, and from that, we're able to support our community needs. So we're self-sustaining without the reliance on handouts or grants, which is where the difference in not-for-profits and charities come from. Merry-go-round toys, like any social enterprise, is also assessed upon its impact within the SDG. So what they are is they're the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is the crux of what we want for our people and our planet. We want no poverty. We want no hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, affordable energy, decent work, and so much more. And we're lucky with the organisation framework, how it is, and our strong partnerships, we're able to meet a lot of those requirements. Now, I mentioned about resources and what you do with them. Merry-go-round toys is devised upon a circular economy system. This is where we take a resource, which is toys. We ensure that they are well made and quality, which is buying and manufacturing appropriately. And consumption and use. Are we looking at the toys that we're purchasing? Are we buying because of quality, longevity, and affordability? Or are we just looking for something for 5 minutes of peace? Well, with us, we use the circular economy in a couple of ways. We often receive donated toys, as well as toys to sell on consignment from families, professionals, kindergartens, and more. And with these toys, we look at the manufacturing of both repairs of existing pre-loved toys, as well as fostering the manufacture of wooden toys from reclaimed furniture and other materials. The consumption and use is through the sale of our toys. And we do that through our website, at markets, and we also have a beautiful small showroom here. And we sell consignees toys on their behalf for them, and they can elect to either have the funds paid into their bank account or donated to one of our partner charities. A big part about what we do is education and the consumption and use of these toys. We're now actually branching out and offering hire services for interstate or visitors, as also for gently used toys, a shop and swap model, so that we can ensure these toys are reused and being enjoyed in they should be. Also, we're looking at corporate leasing. So, for example, do you own a car yard or a real estate agent? Somewhere where business, where adults need to be able to focus. What merry-go-round toys can do, we can provide you with a little play corner. And we'll even swap out the toys, ensuring quality engagement. This ensures that these toys are continuing to get used. Any waste that is collected is broken down as much as possible for recycling. And if it's able to be salvaged, such as batteries are recycled, some toys, even though they're broken, can be used for spare parts or can be turned into play equipment through the Big W program here in Australia, and others that aren't potentially quite at the high level of quality that we have, we redistribute through to the community through Bayside Salvos, Night Ninjas, Redlands Kids Clothes Swap, and the Redland Bay Men's Shed. We use a lot of recycling as much as we can, and gentlemen at the men's shed are wonderful for that. They keep all sorts of spare parts for us and have even started fashioning wooden door handles into round wooden balls for us to use with our toys. We also collect a whole lot of odd assortments such as blocks, balls, cars, hammers, counters, everything we can in order to try and make our toys as complete as possible, ensuring that they're able to give joy to others. Now, by including our charity partners, we're collaboratively reaching and meeting these values and objectives. So, for example, we're assisting the disadvantaged with education, and we're working towards a carbon neutral toy industry. Not solely through offsetting, but we've also got to look at reducing those single-use disposable toys. Let's get kids to play and play smart. Let's stop using virgin petroleum-based plastic. Our kids are our future. We've got to teach them about overconsumption, circular economy, and how our actions impact on the environment and the people around us. With our benefits, we work together with numerous partner charities, and we were very careful and cautious with our partnerships as we take them seriously. We wanted to ensure to align with those with similar values. We actively educate the community upon the services offered by our partners. And since our partnership with Redland Bay Shed, they've received a 30% member increase, which is really exciting, as it offers a safe place for our mostly retired gentlemen to seek connection and to share skills and interests over a cuppa or welding or playing a game of cards. It's a place where men can meet and look after their mental well-being through partnership with others. We also have wonderful Share the Dignity, who is our corporate sponsor through Australia Post, who very generously have an initiative with their postal workers that they will collect toys for donation through us, and that will all proceeds will go towards Share the Dignity. Influence of toys. What is the influence of toys? What's the right number? We know how many get spent and how many we give our children. And there was a interesting study done about the influence of the number of toys in the environment on toddler play, compared with 4 and 16 toy environments. The results showed that with the 4 toy environment, the duration, manner, complexity of play with each item was twice as long as with the 16 toy environment. What this means is that parents presently are spending $240 on toys and games every year, and grandparents a whopping $500. And this is where the first place where children are exposed to shopping and consumption. Toys are setting the standard for how they interact with products and trains them. What benefits are there to fewer toys? Young children who play in environments with fewer toys tend to display sustained levels of attention, increased imagination, perception, and cognition. There's so many benefits to toys, the right toys. There is a big divide. Nearly 20% of children in Australia are experiencing poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is a state or condition in which a person or community lacks those financial resources and essentials for minimum standard of living. So if we look at 20% of children in Australia, that means over 1 million children are presently living in poverty. That means they're going without proper housing, clean water, food, and medical attention. And it's proven that children living in the most socioeconomically disadvantaged areas are more than twice as likely to be developmentally vulnerable on one or more of the Australian early development domains. So, is it okay to send our children to school without the muscle strength to hold a pencil or the ability to roll a die, jump, or recognize the alphabet? No. No. It's not okay. It's not okay that they can swipe effectively and that they are more than 3 times likely to be vulnerable on 2 or more domains compared to children who aren't disadvantaged. It's time to face the facts. There is a different and better way to do this. With merry-go-round toys, we are shining the light on community-centric sustainability. It's hard to believe that from a little idea, a clever little idea that I had to help families save money, ensure quality, and provide education for early learning has taken me on an amazing adventure. I'm proud to have won 2 global awards, including Women Changing the World Award, where I got to meet Duchess of York. I've also won several Osmum Awards and Chamber of Commerce Awards. And things are just amazing, all because I chose to thrive through toys. I urge you, reach for the stars and never let fear get in the way of your dreams. It's okay to go to that pity party. It's okay to mourn, but just don't move in there. We all have choices every day, small and big consequences there are, both good and bad. But learning is the constant. I ask you, I applaud you, choose kindness and choose to learn from these lessons and share them with others. You too are a survivor. Thank you.